Okay, this is the Doorville bathroom. The Doorville bathroom will be, well, this is a master bath, but it will all be tiled. As it stands right now, we have linoleum on the floor, vinyl, as some people call it. We have a plastic bathtub. I call it plastic bathtub. Well, the reality is fiberglass, but it's, really cheesy. It looks like a large bathtub because it's what they call a garden tub, but the gallonage really isn't any different. So he doesn't want the bathtub. There's already another bathtub in the house. So we're going to get rid of that bathtub and build a shower in its place, which will be really nice because this is a large area to get a shower in. I believe the measurement across here is better than 3 feet. Maybe not quite, but we're going to get it to the 3 foot easily because we've got this extra room next to the toilet. So the curb ideally is going to be placed about right here. There'll be a panel of glass in the middle of the curb, and then there'll be a door sitting over here, probably a 24-inch, swinging door hinged over to the left there. So it'll be a rather large shower if you figure 3 foot plus in depth. Times almost 5 foot from wall to wall, 3x5 showers. There's a good, decent sized shower for what this bathroom has room-wise. It's very, very small. You see, I turn around and you got a walk-in closet and a vanity and a toilet. So you don't really have a lot in here anyway. But to get this to be a shower, it's going to be really cool. In addition, I actually have the customer's choice in tile, which I don't normally have when I do one of these videos. So this tile here is a 12 by 12. Looks to be a stone tile. I thought it was porcelain at first, but it's some type of stone. So this tile will be on this wall, going all the way from the bottom of the shower pan up to the ceiling at 8 foot, as well as on the left wall. And it will get capped off with these bullnose pieces, although this one has a lot more light color texture and it has a little bit of gray to match the tile, but I believe because it's a natural stone, that the rest of the stuff that he ends up getting will have more of a gray. Anyway, that will cap that off nicely, going all the way up 8 foot, and then this back wall is going to have a niche, and the niche is probably going to be about 2 foot wide at least by the standard 12 inches tall. And of course I'll use the bullnose that he gets to frame it out, which I always do. So I have a nice niche over there. I think the shower is going to look really, really sharp when I get done. This is going to be the floor tile. This is 2 by 2, and that's going to be the floor tile that goes in the shower. And then this stuff, which is like a mosaic, has some glass pieces in it and stuff like that. Usually I'm using this for trim or on a backsplash or something like that. This guy wants this tile from the bottom of the shower pan on this back wall, this 5 foot by 8 foot wall. This will encompass the whole thing. So this is going to go all the way to the ceiling, which is going to really look sharp. It matches well with the floor tile. That's how it eventually will look, and it matches well with the left and the right wall shower tile on the shower. So that's going to look really sharp. That'll be a nice large shower. I'm going to take that fixture out of there, put a new shower fixture that he bought already, and I'm going to replumb that down into the floor once I have this tub taken out, and because he wants the shower head and the fixture on this wall instead of that wall. So that will change over because the door is going to swing off of this area here. So it'll be about 24, 28 inch door with a panel of glass sitting on the curb over here. And that's how it's going to look. I've already envisioned it in my mind, and it's going to look really sharp. The floor tile will most likely be in the same family as this, although I'm not positive. And we will do this on a diagonal on the floor. So when you see the next video, it will be a completed job, and the way I explain it to you will be exactly the way that it is. I'm taking down this mirror, and I think he's going to get a different mirror put in there. On this right side wall, I'm actually going to put, on this right side wall, I'm going to put a medicine cabinet, a recessed medicine cabinet that's going to go right here, which is sitting right over there right now. So that will be also in the next video. This outlet is kind of in the way of doing that, plus it's never convenient to have an outlet off to the right with cords hanging over, so I'm going to move that outlet over here once the mirror's off and put it right in this general area. He's going to come in with a granite countertop eventually, and he does not want this sink to be used because apparently 2 sinks aren't needed for his purposes. So I'm going to cap off all this plumbing and everything once I get this countertop out of here. The vanity itself is staying, but the countertop is going. Cap off that plumbing, keep that intact, and then once the granite comes in, then he has this sink to put on top of it. Apparently this is a surface mount sink, which I haven't done before, but it'll be fun. And that will be plumbed in at the end over here. If the granite people do not come in with a piece of granite backsplash that they normally do, I think it's usually a thing that you have to ask them for, then I will probably most likely do some type of backsplash along here, possibly using 4 or 5 of these tiles to strip as backsplash. So again, that depends on the color of the countertop itself, the granite. I haven't seen it yet. So that's basically it. It's relatively a small bathroom, except for the shower. There's not a whole lot of work involved with setting this floor and taking out the vanity and doing a little electrical and putting that in. Most of the work here is going to be right here in the shower. So it's going to be a little intricate, a little bit more so than some of the other jobs I've done, but it's going to look really, really good. So, you know, this is day 1. I'm going to get started, and roughly 6 days, maybe 7 days from now, it will be finished.
Alright, I'm finished with this Doorville bathroom. As you remember, this was linoleum flooring, so we have this gray travertine, which is kind of cool because most travertine is like a bone color or a lighter bone color. It's sort of like that. In this case, we got gray travertine with a different coloration in it, so I like it. Unfortunately, it did bump up the floor quite a bit, so I had to put these wood transition strips on both the entrances. So I'm not too fond of those. I would rather have the metal strip flush with the carpet, but in this case we couldn't do that. So that's the floor, and you know, it's throughout, it's diagonal, obviously. Put the mirror in. The outlet used to be where the mirror is, somewhere around here, which is kind of high for a vanity outlet to be. So I lowered the outlet, put it down there, and did this recess medicine cabinet. Eventually there's going to be a granite countertop on top of this vanity, and there'll be that same granite backsplash that goes up to about here. Took the mirror off the wall, not sure what he's going to do to put it back on the wall. If you recall, I had talked about moving the toilet because there was an awful lot of space between the vanity and where the tub used to be over here. So I was able to move the toilet over, I think about probably 8 inches this direction, which still gives it enough room on the left and the right where the curb's at currently to put a toilet in there and still be, you know, comfortable. In addition, I had to move the supply line. I think the supply line was over here somewhere, so I had to move that over the same 8 inches, and so that worked out pretty well. Dust over there was from the painter, sheetrock dust. Anyway, put in new baseboard, new quarter round all the way around on the floor after I did the tile floor. There's a little bit of buildup on here, and so the new toilet flange is a little bit lower, but it'll be okay once the toilet gets put in. This is the final product on the shower. Shower turned out really well. I like how it turned out, actually, because it's very rare that I get to do something different than just, you know, the bone travertine. So in this case, what I did, starting from the top, I put in a new light fixture. Well, not a new, well, there never was a light fixture up here, so this is a 4-inch halogen, which are really nice. I'm able to put those in quite a few showers that I build, not all of them, but I think it really shines a good light on the shower area. It's the same travertine, the gray travertine that's on the wall here. We did it on a staggered brick pattern, only because that back tile is staggered naturally. So that's what I did on here. We ended up using these pencil pieces, which really don't match too well on the tile, but it is a natural stone, so you know, you're kind of stuck with what you have when you open the box. And I'm not too hip on this type of trim. It's very thin. I would have rather used some type of bullnose or something, but didn't have a choice on that because they don't have anything that matches that at any of the tile places I went to, and the customer's happy with it, so you know, that's what matters. Obviously, new shower fixture got put in. If you remember, this was a tub area. This was a garden tub, and the fixture was down here kind of low. So what I did is once I did the demolition, I took all the plumbing and brought it up under the floor and up this wall here and put it on this side, because obviously the toilet's going to be over here and the shower door will be on this side with the glass panel on that side, on the right side. What I always do is niches in showers because nobody likes to hang anything on the shower fixture. So I do the niches. In this case, I wanted to build a larger niche because it is a large shower. I wanted to actually come out probably about right here, but I wasn't able to because there's a lot of plumbing and electrical issues inside the wall here. So I went as far as I could to this point, and then pretty much as far as I could to that point to still get something symmetrical. So it's still a fairly large niche. I always do the diagonal tile on the back of the niche just to mix it up a little bit. And normally what I do is I take some of the floor tile, which is in this case is 2x2, same type of coloration, and I usually take 4 of those 2x2 back cut and I put it in there just as kind of a, you know, fancy thing, you know. But in this case, this type of travertine was a little bit on the high end, and my experience with travertine is it breaks pretty easy when you're trying to do cuts, and so that's why I didn't get that little extra added feature, but it still looks nice. The bench, now this was actually, I think Schluter, Curdy make a bench, and normally if it's a full bench it goes all the way down. In this case he bought a recessed bench of the same material. It's a gray material, it's foam, but it's a gray material that's water impenetrable, and it actually sets recessed into the wall where the wall board is, and then the tile both overlap onto this, so it's very sturdy and it's freestanding, which is kind of cool. I use the same tile that we used on the curb here, which is an 18 by 18, and I managed to get a full piece of tile on the bench, and of course it's angled, sloped down so water comes off. On the face I wasn't really sure what to do, and I wasn't really given direction by the customer, so I kind of made it up on my own. I took the same 2x2 tile and put a couple rows up there, took that pencil trim tile from the wall and put it in the middle there, so I think it looks kind of nice and it brings everything back together. And on this tile, this mosaic, which is really cool, I like it a lot. I couldn't really see putting it on an entire wall. As you see, it's quite busy. Normally this stuff is used for backsplashes, and at the very least it's used as a middle trim piece. So you would have 5, 6, maybe 8 of these going around, you know, like eye level, going around the whole shower, and then the field tile goes up to that point, and then after that point. So I've never used this much on an entire wall before, but I did imagine it done. Excuse me. And I already knew it would look kind of cool, which it does. And I managed to get it all straight, obviously, because this type of tile, if you don't work with it before, you realize that it's relatively thin, so your wall has to be completely straight, whether it's a backsplash or an entire wall like this. You can't have any oddities about the wall. There can't be any dips or bumps or anything like that, because this has to all be totally flat, which it is in this case because I built the wall. But it does look really cool. Going from the top to the bottom, this is actually 8 feet, and then from left to right it's 5 feet, because you remember there's a tub here that's 60 inches long, so it's an awful large wall. And in this case also, I'm not able to use sanded grout, which I always like to do in showers, but I did use a sealer, an additive sealer, with non-sanded grout in here, so I don't think there'll ever be any issues with that. Plus the customer is going to seal it again. So it turned out really well. I like the whole idea of this type of shower. with this type of tile, because as I said when I started, most people are just focused on this tan travertine, which I've done dozens of times, and it gets kind of old. So doing something different matters to me. It's a creative process, so that's what I really like. The only thing I don't particularly like the shower head. I don't like the hose shower head, but you know, then again, that's not up to me. And I would have liked to seen a secondary shower head on this wall, because it is such a large shower. It would just cry out to have at least some body sprays or something going on more than currently. But you know, it's good. So customer is happy, I'm happy with it, and now I'm on to the next job.